jump into your life. 2, 3, 4.
I trust God in me. All of life is here for me. I take a leap of faith and see all I want comes easily. I trust God in me. All of life is here for me. I take a leap of faith and see all I want comes easily. I jump into my life, abandon fear and strife. Wake up my desire, jump into the fire. I'm flying higher. I trust God in me. All of life is here for me. I take a leap of faith and see all I want comes easily. I trust God in me. All of life is here for me. I take a leap of faith and see all I want comes easily. I jump into my life, abandon fear and strife. Wake up my desire, jump into the fire. I'm flying higher. I trust God in me. All of life is here for me. I take a leap of faith and see all I want comes easily. I trust God in me. All of life is here for me. I take a leap of faith and see all I want comes easily. I trust God in me.
Good morning. Welcome to the Salt Lake Center for Spiritual Living. My name is Rob Ekman, and I'm so happy to be here with my spiritual community this beautiful morning. We are live streaming, and we're so happy to welcome people from around the city, around the country, and indeed around the world joining us here this morning to share our message of love, acceptance, and oneness. Today, our practitioner holding high watch from home, I believe, is Wendy Condi. And Wendy is knowing the highest good for everyone involved in our service and in our community. Our prayer practitioner today is Selena Baugh. Our purpose statement, ready? We are an open, welcoming community, celebrating our divinity, loving our humanity, and nurturing our journeys of spiritual discovery. Thank you. I'd like to remind you all that we have all sorts of great information for you regarding our services, our philosophy, and our classes, activities, and more. And these can all be found at our website, which is www.spirituallyfree.org. Our mission statement. Our center is a spiritual community that teaches a philosophy for daily living based on spiritual principles and practices that are universal among religions. We honor all pathways by which people seek to know and connect with the divine, and we work on our individual consciousness so that we can make the world a better place. This year's theme is Facing the Fear, and I'm very excited to announce that today's speaker is our own Randy Scott. This afternoon, as Rick already mentioned, at 12:30 at Grant Park, we will have a bring your own picnic lunch, observing social distancing with music provided by Rick and Chris. Also at 12:30, we will be Reverend Myrna will be hosting our Zoom community chat, and that will be taking place from the park as well. So 12:30 today, please plan on joining us at Grant Park, which is at 6150 South Main Street here in town at the Pavilion. And we will be enjoying each other's company there. We'd like to remind you that there is still time to be counted for the census and to register to vote. If you still need help registering for the census, there is help available for the next 2 Wednesdays from 5 to 6:30 at the Central Park Farmers Market, which takes place at 27th South and 2nd East. All right. We'd like to remind you of the role that our practitioners play in our services and in our community. We have a team of practitioners who are trained to pray for us, to pray with us in times of need, and times of wellness, and times of happiness, and times of sorrow. And there are several ways that you can connect with these practitioners. You can connect with one of them here live right after the service. You can also submit a prayer request in the box in the lobby and know that our prayer practitioners are praying for you all week. All right, now I'd like to encourage you to all to settle into your seats and prepare as Selena will offer our morning message and prayer.
The Book of Awakening is our reading. This is from the Book of Awakening by Mark Nepo this morning. And the title of the reading is Opening to Faith. Once a man was about to cross the sea. A wise man tied a leaf in a corner of his robe and said to him, "Don't be afraid. Have faith and walk on the water. But look here, the moment you lose faith, you will drown." We often move away from pain, which is helpful only before being hurt. Once in pain, it seems the only way out is through. Like someone falling off a boat, struggling to stay above the water only makes things worse. We must accept we are there and settle enough so that we can be carried by the deep. The willingness to do this is the genesis of faith, the giving over to currents larger than us. Even fallen leaves float in lakes, demonstrating how surrender can hold us up. We can learn from the leaves that ducks swim around. In life, as in water, when we curl up or flail, we sink. When we spread and go still, we are carried by the largest sea of all, the sea of grace that flows steadily beneath the turmoil of events. And just as fish can't see the ocean they live in, we can't quite see the spirit that sustains us. Again and again, the onset of pain makes us clutch and sink. But life has taught me that how we first open after doubling over is crucial to whether we will heal at all.
I will surrender to my greatest, highest good. I will release any fear that blocks my way. For every step I take is taken in pure faith, and I am stronger every moment, every day. My mind is willing and my heart is open wide. I trust my instincts and let Spirit be my guide. I vow to live a life that's real and true and free as I continue walking in this mystery. I will surrender to my greatest, highest good. I will release any fear that blocks my way. For every step I take is taken in pure faith,
in this perfect moment. I recognize that one presence and that one power that moves in and through all of life. Always has, always will, without beginning or end. Expressing His absolute divine right action, love, joy, peace, and strength. And knowing this truth of the divine, I know that I am part and parcel of that one. Just as I know this same truth for each person that's joining us this morning in all of creation. For we are the expressions of that one, whole and complete, with all of that intelligence, love, strength, and power available at a moment's notice, at our very next breath. So in this moment, I accept all that is. From that place of acceptance and rest, I can hear and feel where I'm being called and pulled into the next change. For just as our leaves and our weather is changing outside this morning, that briskness, the colors that are coming alive, I know that change is always about. It is the nature of each of us and all of life. So this too shall pass, whether it be hard or good. The pain comes in the attachment. So I rest in this moment, this day, opening my heart and mind to the beautiful music, the wonderful message that we will hear this day, embodying that which sustains me, so that each of us can move forward into this day, knowing the truth of who we are, the wholeness that we bring into expression. I'm grateful for this time together this morning. I'm grateful for every hand that made it possible and every heart that is opening and sharing with us this morning. So I release this word. It's spoken, therefore it's done. As together we say, and so it is.
2, 3, 4.
Woke up this morning, saw we're full of trouble now. I thought, how'd we ever get so far down? And how's it ever gonna turn around? So I turned my mind to spirit. I thought, God, why don't you do something? Well, I just couldn't bear the thought of people living in poverty, children sold into slavery. The thought disgusted me, so I shook my fist at heaven. Said, God, why don't you do something? I heard a voice, I did, yeah. I created you. Here we go. If not us, then who? If not me and you, right now, it's time for us to do something, yeah. If not now, then when? We will see an end to all this pain. It's not enough to just imagine, no. It's time for us to do something. I'm so tired of talking about how we are God's hands and feet. Well, it's easier to say than to be. Live in such complacency, and we tell ourselves it's alright, somebody else will do something. But I don't know about you, but I want to feed this holy fire. I want to soak this inner fire, walk the walk that lifts us higher. I want to be someone who stands up and says, do something. Here we go. If not us, then who? If not me and you, right now, it's time for us to do something. Yeah. If not now, then when? We will see an end to all this pain. It's not enough to just imagine, no. It's time for us to do something. We are the salt of the earth. We are a city on a hill. We're never gonna change ourselves by standing still. No, we won't stand still. No, we won't stand still. No, we won't stand still. No. If not us, then who? If not me and you, right now, it's time for us to do something. Yeah. If not now, then when? We will see an end to all this pain. It's not enough to just imagine, no. It's time for us to do something. It's time for us to do something. It's time for us to do something.
Yeah. Thanks for singing along. It's my pleasure to introduce our special music today. This young lady doesn't sing enough solos here. I'm so glad to have her share her gifts with us today. And she's chosen some wonderful music, fits right in with the theme. A glorious voice and a beaming presence. Such beautiful, authentic emotion. So grateful for your presence in the center and in my life. Welcome, Delanne Haslam.
Thank you, Rick. Thank you. So I had a little bit of a difficult time deciding on what to sing today. It is National Suicide Prevention Month, and that's very important to me, along with the theme of facing your fear. And actually, they go right together. And before I go any farther, I forgot to get my slide in time, but I do want to let everyone know that if you're in crisis, you can text the word hello to 741-741, and everything is confidential and is 24/7 available. So please do that if you're having a hard time. This cause is important to me because I am a suicide survivor. I've lost someone close to me. I also know what it feels like to be there, to feel like you can't go on anymore. And this song is something that has helped me throughout my life a few times, where, it's just helped me get that one more day. You know what I mean? I encourage everyone to get help, whatever it takes, whether it's medical or energetic or spiritual. I wrote a lot of prayer requests too. I suggest that. This is called Bring on the Rain by Jody Mesita.
Another day is almost come and gone. I can't imagine what else could go wrong. Sometimes I'd like to hide away somewhere and lock the door. A single battle lost, not the war. 'Cause tomorrow's another day, forgive me, and I'm thirsty anyway. So bring on the rain. It's almost like the
hard times circle round. A couple drops, and then they all start coming down. Yeah, I might feel defeated, and I might hang my head. I might be barely breathing, but I'm not dead, no. 'Cause tomorrow's another day, and I'm thirsty anyway. So bring on the rain. Ooh. No, I'm not gonna let it get me down. I'm not gonna cry, and I'm not gonna lose any sleep tonight. 'Cause tomorrow's another day, and I am not afraid. So bring on the rain. Tomorrow's another day, and I'm thirsty anyway. So bring on the rain. Bring on the rain. Get me down. I'm not gonna cry. So bring on the Bring on the Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Delanne. Isn't she a beautiful, beautiful voice and such a wonderful energy in our center? I've enjoyed being able to listen to you for some time now, and you're just fabulous. Thank you for sharing with us. It's my great honor to introduce our speaker today. Randall H. Scott is an author, speaker, mentor, and founder of Zenpowerment. With a degree in marketing, Randy spent a corporate career in international sales and marketing while living around the world. Now, after nearly dying in a motorcycle accident at the age of 33, he realized he had a second chance to live. So he went in search of what really matters in life. His passion for the fusion of science and spirituality led him to compile the principles and tools of Zenpowerment. He's found a way to discover more peace, power, and purpose in life, as well as to discover the authenticity by uncovering who we are, not in order to find out what we really are. Today, he is a mentor, speaker, and author. Please join me in welcoming Randy Scott.
Good morning, my friends. Rob, thank you so much. Delanne. Holy smokes. At the very beginning, you had asked, because you said I was going to text you during the week, and you asked me if we wanted to sing anything special. And that was so perfect. Thank you. Suicide is super important to me as well. I've lost many friends to suicide, and I've been working with teens and parents around suicide for the last couple of years, and helping provide tools and communication and emotional management for that. And so it is dear to my heart as well. And the song Bring On the Rain is perfect. About 100 years ago in Ohio, there was this little community. It was a farming community. And they make their living from farming, from getting food from the fields. And oddly enough, they had a problem: not enough rain. And so they decided as a community to get together and go to the church and have a special prayer for rain. And so everybody comes into this little church, and the pastor comes up and he's looking at everybody, and on the very front row, there's an 11-year-old girl. She's got this big beaming smile, and she's the only one that brought an umbrella. That is faith. That is faith, right? How many times do we say something but maybe not act on it? So faith, the dictionary description of faith is complete trust in someone or something, right? Complete trust. So do we trust ourselves? Do we trust our higher power? Do we trust this path in our life? I had a beautiful experience that I want to illustrate this, because for me, the way that we express trust, there are a couple things that I'd really like to focus on today. One is, do we believe that everything in our life is really happening for us? Do we have absolute trust? Would we bring an umbrella saying, this is happening for me? And then the second one is, do we accept what shows up? Right? How many times do we resist reality? It's so important, because if we believe and have trust that everything is working for us, then whatever shows up is for us. So recently, about a month ago, I bought a new motorcycle. I love motorcycles. It's my meditation. It's such a beautiful way for me to center myself. And so I bought this new motorcycle. It's a motorcycle that future Randy had manifested for 5 years from now. And I got it today. So I said, thank you, universe, I'll take that. And so Thursday morning, early morning, a friend of mine wanted to go on a motorcycle ride. And she lives about half an hour south of me, down in Lehigh area. And so 6 o'clock, I head off, heading down there, and there was a gas station that's about a half mile from her house. I thought, I'm gonna fill up with gas so we can just go. And I fill up with gas, I start the bike back up, and all of a sudden it's way louder than it was before. And there's this rattling noise. And so I knew something was wrong. So I drive over to her house, and I say, hey, I don't think we're gonna go on a ride today. And this is a friend of mine. She's so awesome. She's like, okay, cool. You want to do something else? And so we tried to figure out, if there's a way that we could fix the bike. It was dark when I got there, so we waited a little while. I go back outside, and there's a rear exhaust that connects to the engine. And there are 2 nuts that support that. And both of those 2 nuts had fallen off. They were gone. I lost my nuts. And so what's really cool about this, and so it was like, I have no idea what we're gonna do. And so I said, hey, you know what? Why don't we plan this for another time? I'll come back. And so I'm walking out, we're just having a little conversation, and somehow this conversation got into something extremely meaningful for her. She's going through a relationship challenge for the last couple of years. And we start talking, and it gets very sensitive and very vulnerable. And I start seeing tears. So we sit down on the floor right by the front door, and we have that conversation. And it hit me like a ton of bricks. Well, that's why my bike doesn't work. That's why it broke. It happened for me. Thank you, universe. So I take the bike, and I'm going to see if I can get it fixed. And about 6 months ago, I moved out of a sober living house where I had lived there for 10 months doing research around addiction and reintegration of ex-convicts. And I don't use a lot of tools. I don't have a lot of tools, but I thought, my tools are still back at the sober living house. So I go back to this sober living house, and I pull up, and one of the guys that was there when I was there, his name's Benny, really cool guy, comes out, looks at me, and he's like, Randy, gives me a big hug, right? And he tells me, I've been clean for these 6 months. All my UAs have been clean. I got a new job. I got a new truck. Everything is going great. And then he gets he says, well, and I've got this going on as well. Can we talk about it? And so we have a conversation. That's why my motorcycle broke. Thank you, universe. Thank you, thank you, thank you. One of the things that I have realized, one more piece to this story. So when I bought the bike about a month ago, and I was talking to the guy, he had mentioned the fact that he had swapped out the exhaust and put an original exhaust back on. And apparently, he may not have tightened those two nuts tight enough. So he's a part of the puzzle as well. So what I believe is, in this life, each of us have our unique puzzle pieces, right? Delanne, you have a few. Rick, you have a few. We all have a few puzzle pieces. And they're so unique. It only goes in one space. And without that one puzzle piece, the puzzle is incomplete. Now, the thing is, we don't get to see the whole puzzles. We have our little pieces, and it's like we go here, we go here, we go here. But I believe that there is a master puzzle maker that sees the whole puzzle. And when we choose to believe that everything is happening for us, we choose to believe in the master puzzle maker. And that he will know when and where our pieces get to go. Ernest Holmes said that faith and fear are two sides of the same coin. He said, in order to have faith, we must have a conviction that all is well. In order to keep faith, we must allow nothing to enter our thought which will weaken this conviction. Faith is built up from belief, acceptance, and trust. Whenever anything enters our thought which destroys one of these attitudes, to that extent, faith is weakened. So when I was 11 years old, I heard a quote that has stuck with me forever. And being 54, that's good that something can stick with me. The quote is, fear knocked, faith answered, and nobody was there. Fear knocked, faith answered, and nobody was there. So in my Zen Empowerment book and my coaching, one of the principles that I talk about is love versus fear. And what we're talking about today is faith versus fear. And so I thought, okay, what's this correlation between faith and love and fear? And so as I started looking at it, here's my hypothesis, see if it resonates. So in the definition, it said faith is a complete trust in something or someone. In order to have trust, it takes courage, right? It takes courage to say, I don't know why this happened, but it happened for me. It takes courage to step into the unknown. Now, the interesting thing about the word courage is from Latin courage. Cor means heart, right? The heart is our place of love. And so, and I wrote this down this morning because it came to me and I couldn't remember it unless I wrote it down. So faith is an expression of love by using our courage to take action into fear. That's how I connected the dot. Now, Osho said something that I really love. He said, courage is a love affair with the unknown. Isn't that cool? As humans, our initial thought is, it's unknown, I'm afraid. What if we said, it's unknown, isn't that cool? To me, that's how we overcome our fear. So what I've learned is it's kind of this internal battle, we would say. Fear comes from right back here, right? Fear comes from the amygdala, and it's all made up. It's great, right? We make up something in the future. Usually it's a worst case scenario, and it's like, yeah, that's what's going to happen. Rarely ever, ever, ever happens. Danger's real, fear's made up. And then we have faith, we have love. And so we get to choose. Do we want to come from our heart, or do we want to choose to come from our head? So think of the example of anxiety, right? For example, today, coming up to speak, if I chose to come from fear, I would be anxious. It's like, oh, yeah, I'd be nervous. If I choose to come from love, that energy it rises, and it becomes excitement. Same experience, different choice. So as we choose to come from a place of love, it allows us to just embrace life. Whenever I have something that comes to me, or a decision that I get to make, I always ask myself 3 questions. Am I coming from love or fear? Does it feel empowering or disempowering? And does it feel light or heavy? Those are my qualifications. If I'm coming from love, it feels empowering and it feels light, it's the right choice. And that has always worked for me. I had a meditation about probably 5 or 6 months ago. I love meditation. Meditationaholic. If you got to be addicted to something, meditation's a really good thing to be addicted to. 1.5 to 2 hours a day. Hope to never be a recovering meditationaholic. But I was in a meditation, and this aspect of raising my vibration, because that's what I'm all about, is raising the vibration of the planet, raising the vibration of myself. And in the past, my mentality has been, it's like climbing stairs, right? I have to raise my vibration. And in this meditation, what showed up was beautiful. It was this hot air balloon. And the nature of a hot air balloon is to rise. Our nature is to rise. So what are those things? What are those ballasts that are keeping us down? And that's what fear is, right? If we eliminate that fear, we naturally rise. And so what really shifted in me is I became a fear explorer. What are those things that I'm afraid of? Let's go be with those things. Now, I don't attach to them, and I don't resist them. You said something in the prayer, Selena, about pain and attachment. Attachment causes suffering. But if you can be with something, it's a beautiful thing. If you can be with a fear coming from your heart until it goes away, it has no more power over you. That is a powerful place to be. And so I started doing this, and I've done it with everything. Anything that I'm afraid of, that's what I do it with. I even did it with death, right? There's this fear of the unknown, and part of what people go through is this fear of death, but it's the fear of the unknown, 100% surety. What's next? And I went through all the scenarios I could think of. And I sat with them until I was at peace with everyone. Now, I had my accident when I was 33, where I had a near-death experience. And from that time forth, bring it on. Bring on the rain. Bring on the death. When it's our time, it's our time. I truly believe that. If I'm still here, I'm not done. If you're still here, you're not done. Cool. So until that time, but don't be afraid. It's part of our cycle. It's part of what gives life the richness and the beauty. So whatever it is that gives you fear, be with it. Embrace it. Have a love affair with the unknown. Have a love affair with the unknown. As we prepare to close, I'd like to just share a couple stories and a couple thoughts. It's a Native American story, you've probably heard it, but there was a grandfather, and he was sitting by a stream with his grandson and scraping off buffalo hides, cleaning them up. And his grandfather says that there are two wolves within each of us, right? One is love, and the other is fear. And and they're both just as powerful. And the grandson asked, well, which one lives? Which one wins? And he said, the one you feed. The one you feed. So are we feeding our love? Are we feeding our love? Or are we feeding our fears? As we were sitting here before, I saw Dell-Ann, and she's like, I can do it, I can do it, I can do it, I can do it. She's feeding that love. She's feeding that love. So many good examples of people feeding love. But if you step into this space of awareness, what are you thinking? What are you feeding? We have this internal dialogue that sometimes might not be the best. Starve that. If anyone deserves love, it's ourselves. So many times, the way we speak to ourselves would never be the way that we would speak to another person. How dare we? Let's love ourselves. Another thing is, can we depend on miracles? Instead of saying, yeah, every once in a while, miracles come up. What if we said, well, happens all the time? Happens all the time. Are we paying attention? To me, my motorcycle braking was a miracle. Now, we don't always see the results like I saw, like those 2 meaningful conversations with my friends. Sometimes we don't see it. And I am confident that we have miracles happening around us all the time that we have zero clue about. The fact that I've made it to 54 years of age and I'm still here, miracles, miracles. And I'm grateful. If we choose to depend on miracles, they show up. If we choose to carry that umbrella, the rain will show up. So I would like to close with a prayer after after a Native American and shamanic tradition. For some reason that resonated with me. And so I would like to just close with that. Mother Earth, Pachamama, we are grateful for this home. We are grateful for the mountains, the streams, the trees that give us breath. Father Sky, Father Son, we are grateful for the light and life that we receive. Grandfather Creator, Great Spirit, we're grateful to have a master puzzle maker. We're grateful to know that everything in our lives happens for our good. And as we choose to accept everything in our lives, we will become more powerful. We honor the 4 directions, east, south, west, and north. Eagle, serpent, jaguar, hummingbird. We thank you for your wisdom. We're grateful to be here today. We're grateful to learn to lean into our fears, express our love through faith. Aho, and so it is.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I give. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
So now is our time of conscious giving, which in our center is one of our spiritual practices, something we do for our own spiritual health and well-being. We recognize the blessings that have come to us as a part of the divine flow of good. And in gratitude, we keep that flow going by sharing what we have with our spiritual center, so that it might continue to bless us and remind us of the truth of who we are. We understand that some of you are experiencing changes in your financial situation. Just know that for those of you who can continue to contribute, it will mean more now than ever. In the spirit of gratitude for your good, please bring into your mind your gift and into your heart as we speak together our giving blessing. So together. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I give, and all that I receive. Filled with gratitude, I let this be. And so it is. Thank you.
All that I need comes to me. All that I need comes to me. The light of love and grace shines upon my face. All that I need comes to me.
going to hear some more from Delanne Haslam, our special music today.
So, in choosing this song, I have a fun story from the universe. I was praying and praying for a song to just drop into my lap that would fit the theme of facing our fear. It would fit the suicide prevention that's important to me today, and that would be real to my life. And I'm sitting at school with Presley, which I just live there nowadays. I'm training someone to take care of her diabetes, and how I spend my time is I'm taking all my photos off my phone and putting them onto my computer. And it doesn't work to do it in one fell swoop, so I'm doing 5,000 pictures about one at a time. And suddenly, by accident, my computer goes to the middle of these photos, and I decide to randomly click on a film, and it's Rick singing this song. And I said, "Thank you, universe." And it just fits. When I was in a hard time, this definitely is the biggest thing that I did. This is called "I Release and I Let Go" by Michael Gott.
And you're going to sing it.
And I'm going to sing it. Yeah. And thank you, boys, for just all of a sudden joining me. And Corinne. There was a time in my life, thought I had to do it all for myself. I didn't know the grace of God was sufficient. I didn't know the love of God was at hand. But now I can say, if you are discouraged, struggling just to make it through another day, you gotta let it go. Let it all go. And this is what you got to say. I release and I let go. I let spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Help me out. I release and I let go. I let spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Here we go. I release and I let go. I let spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Said I am free in the spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Delanne. Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you, Randy. What a beautiful message. Thank you all for coming. Before we close today, I was asked to read an announcement from Salt Lake County Mayor's office. So this is, we ask you to read this from the pulpit. So pretend I'm from the pulpit. As COVID-19 cases are surging across Salt Lake County, we urge all to recommit to social distancing and wearing face coverings. Please re-emphasize with all children the importance of these principles not only in school, but before and after school and while with friends. We want to see normal activities like school, homecoming, and sports stay open. And I'll add church. We need to work together, young and old, family and congregation, to keep our communities and loved ones healthy. Thank you for listening to that. Remember that we have a great social event at Grant Park, that's in Murray, 6150 South and Main Street. Hope to see you there, 12:30. Pick up a lunch and we'll have some fun. It'd be so great to see you. It's going to be just a beautiful day, like 78 degrees and sunny. Bring it on. Awesome. And remember the live chat that we're so used to every Sunday will be hosted by Myrna from the park. So that'll be fun too. I ask you to stand now. Don't join hands unless you're married to somebody or live in their household. Let's sing our closing song. Together we can change the world.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I believe it's not too late. Together we can change the world. Lay the puzzle pieces out. Find out what it's all about. Together we can change the world. I can start this by myself, but I'm asking for your help. Together we can change the world. Sailing past where it's been charted. Roll your sleeves up. Get started together, we can change the world. Together we can change the world. With our hands and with our hearts, we can dare to make a start. Together we can change the world. What if we spoke with one voice, knowing that we have a choice? Together we can change the world. I can start this by myself, but I'm asking for your help. Together we can change the world. Sailing past where it's been charted. Roll your sleeves up, let's get started. Together we can change the world. Together we can change the world. Change your mind and change your life. Set aside the fear and strife. Together we can change the world. When we open up our eyes, then we start to realize together we